And welcome back. Now, before we took the break, we were talking about allowances. Now, we have questions which have come in, actually linking the same issues of allowances, and we're going to go straight to them. Now, we have a viewer from Rongai called Peter Sitho is asking how important is it to teach children to save from allowances? Yes, you give them allowances, then now they save from that.
Well, that's actually a very important question, because you find that at this point, when we are bringing up our children, their main revenue stream
Yes.
is allowances.
Yes.
Because they don't have salaries, they're not yet employed. And the lessons that they are going to learn at this point, you find that these are lessons that they are going to grow with, even up to employment or in businesses in future. So saving is the key word here, you know. And from my own perspective,
Yes.
You find that whenever children earn money, in whatever way they earn, probably it can come in form of a gift, it can be in form of that allowance, you know. It's critical that they also learn about priorities in spending. And one of the ways that that can be achieved is always to have a conversation with your children regarding their finances and what they want to do with their finances.
Yes.
And within that conversation, you ensure that there is not only spending, but there's also the saving aspect of it.
Okay.
Because they cannot live for today and forget that tomorrow they'll also have a need that they need to address. So that way, it becomes conditioned in their mind that whenever they have any resource, especially finances, that it has to be used also with the future in mind, and that's the whole basis of saving.
Yes, you've heard that. It's all about conversations with your children in regards to actually this allowances topic. Now we're going to go to the second question from Wangoi. She's writing from Mango. She's asking, it's about financial freedom. What age is appropriate to know that a child now has achieved financial freedom? Is it at 18? Or a child can actually achieve financial freedom at a very young age?
I believe that whatever we are discussing is a process.
Yes.
A growing process. And I don't think that it is appropriate to imagine that a child will achieve or attain financial freedom unless they have attained the adult age.
Yes.
The lessons still have to continue. Only that probably the lessons develop also different stages. There are more responsibilities. The allowances grow.
Yes.
And they can do bigger things with their money. But I don't think that we can say that a child can attain financial freedom until he attains the adult age.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, and then there's a last question from Peter Sitho from Rongai, who actually has a problem. No, that's not from Peter Sitho. It's actually from Lina Athiambo. She is asking that the child has this mentality that she's entitled to an allowance from the parent. So how does she get the child to know that the child is not entitled, but it's a prerogative of the parent to give?
Right. I think that's a very critical point too, because it actually determines on how the allowances are also extended to the child.
Okay.
Because you don't want it to be counterproductive. So what you don't want to impact on the child is dependency.
Yes.
And entitlement. So the way I see it, or the way I normally recommend, is that the allowance should be attached to some form of service. Rather than just sitting back and knowing that after every 7 days,
yes, there's
I'm
an allowance
entitled to so much.
Maybe they can clean.
Yes,
they can.
Exactly. And again, you don't want to make it a requirement that every time they clean, they
Yes.
get paid.
Aha.
But we can set some time, a
Yes.
special time,
Yes.
where they are required to do a service in
Yes.
order to earn their allowance.
The allowance.
And that
Very
way
important.
you actually break you break that dependency syndrome and entitlement.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Very important, very critical actually. I've also learned something there. Now, what about your own personal experience, your own children? Tell us about the situation, about money, how you've trained them, what you've taught them so far.
I think most interestingly, I'll start with myself because when I was growing up, this issue of saving was not so much. However, interestingly, I opened my first bank account when I was in class 3.
Okay.
And alongside that, I also had a piggy bank. And what I used to do is that I used to commute. Then we used to have what we call the Kenya bus service. And I also used to get money for lunch.
Okay.
Yes. So what I used to do then is that there are times when I would downgrade on my lunch to save. And there are times, so this was illegal, when I would choose actually to walk from school to home
Yes.
to save.
To save, yes.
And then I would put the money in the piggy bank.
Okay.
Then after every month, I would decide how much to take to my post-bank savings
Okay.
and how much I could actually use for an immediate need. Probably I was saving to buy a comic book or to go for a movie.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So with that, I think
Would have your parents just easily given you money to buy a comic book, or were these privileges that your parents were, you know, like in the old days, parents had things that they would not, were considered a luxury, or?
yes. I think for me, I might have been lucky because my father was an accountant.
Okay.
And therefore, these were deliberate lessons that he was giving to us.
Yes.
You know, from that age, as we said, teaching the child that one, you do not have to depend all the time, but you can actually do something extra to earn for yourself. And when you earn, you do not have to spend it immediately. You can actually hold it somewhere.
Yes.
And when it comes even to finally opening up the piggy bank, you don't have to finish everything, but there's that bit that you can actually take it to the bank. Yes. I believe it was more of a culture, you know, a culture being developed in me, nurtured in me. One, as I said, that teaches me that indeed I do not have to rely 100% on my folks,
Okay.
but I had the ability also to actually plan and implement the plan
Yes.
to get to where I wanted using financial resources.
Okay.
And this has made it easier for me as a parent to understand that it's a very critical skill, life skill, that I need also to bring it up in my children. So I start, as I mentioned earlier, like with the Sunday school.
Okay.
You know, something that they can relate to. Secondly,
Money for Jesus.
Money for Jesus, that is.
Yeah.
Secondly, we actually define the revenue streams.
Oh, okay.
And the revenue streams, number one, we have a special day
Yes.
where they can attend to a house chore,
Okay.
like maybe dishes,
Yeah.
or even helping in cleaning the car.
So it could be as simple as it is.
Very simple.
Yes.
And with that, they're entitled to an allowance.
An allowance
agreed
afterwards.
upon allowance.
Yes.
They also do get gifts. Sometimes you've gone to Shosho Buka
Yes.
and you get
Of
something.
course. Of course.
The understanding is they are supposed to declare.
Uh-huh.
That one is very critical. They are supposed to declare because
Rule number one.
yes, rule number
I've
one.
got 3,000 from Guka.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that again enhances accountability.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Accountability, and again they are very aware that even with gifts, it's not supposed to come from anybody.
Okay, that's right.
It's not supposed to come from anybody. It has to be someone that we have approved.
Yes.
And sometimes even in the process of declaring, you might have questions, and that way you'll confiscate the money
Okay.
and be able to bring it up with whoever gave the gift, and if you find that it is justified, then you can
I can allow it into the child's piggy bank. Okay.
So then once they have the money, the next stage is to have a conversation on what they want to use the money for.
Okay.
And the second rule is that they cannot spend all the money. They have to save part of it.
Part of it.
So that it becomes conditioned in their system that whenever you get money, there's that one you spend, but you also have to. You also have to save.
Okay.
Yeah. So that way, I believe I've seen it has worked miracles around them, and we don't have a lot of money, as you say. They don't have a lot of money, but again, I don't see them struggle with their finances.
What are the things that they like to buy, for example, when they have just a little money in their pockets?
Yes, I think when it comes to the boy, who's 5 years old, it fluctuates between the Oreos, the form of biscuits,
Okay.
and
Ice cream.
ice cream sometimes, but toys.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
He'd want to do a Spider-Man watch, and that one is good because you tell him the value, and every time he'll come back asking whether it's enough now for the Spider-Man watch and all
okay.
that.
Okay.
For the girl who is a bit older, in Form 1, the needs are a bit more complex.
Yes.
Yeah. It starts from beauty accessories.
Yes.
Of course, with our permission.
Yes, and this has changed from when she was a little girl.
Yes.
Over the time. Yes.
To probably having an outing with her friends.
Okay.
Probably they would save to do a picnic.
Yes.
Or visit a mall. So with time it changes.
Yes. So we want to thank you very much for coming to the show today. That was really informative. We are blessed to have you.
Thank you very much.
We hope you come again.
Looking forward.
And we also want to thank you, viewers, for being with us and for gracing our show today, for talking to us through the SMS lines and also our Facebook pages. We want to thank you very much. Now we'll see you again next week. My name is Dorcas Mwangi.